Hi, I'm Enzo.
And I'm Reyna.
And this is the Date Night Horror Show. We're back, Reyna. We're back.
I know, it's been a long time.
I know. Things have been crazy. Post-Halloween, lots of things going on, lots of work stuff going on. But we're finally back. And on this episode, we're going to talk about a sequel film that people have been waiting for, and we watched it a while ago, and we finally get to talk about it. Dr. Sleep.
Yes.
The sequel to The Shining. That will be our feature review. But I think before that, we should talk about horror sequels, like which horror sequels we really like, because with horror, it's kind of a phenomenon where they do tons and tons of sequels of things.
Too many sometimes.
Yeah. So I really wanted to curate the ones we thought were notable and actually worth your time. So we're going to curate our Sinful Six favorite horror sequels, the ones that I think are well worth your time. Yeah.
Cool.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Okay, let's.
There's a lot of them, but we'll pick our faves.
Yeah, let's get into that, because there's another thing I want to throw at you afterwards.
Uh-oh.
So before we go into the feature review, before we do all of that, again, I just want to thank everyone who's listening. You guys are awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Our numbers keep going up and up, as we've said
awesome.
before, and it's really cool and great. And we're starting to get a sense of community. It's interesting because, as you know, Reyna, I listen to a lot of podcasts because my work is kind of conducive to it. There's a lot of time where I'm working on a computer and, hearing someone else talk about other subjects I'm passionate about, it's just perfect. As a fan of horror podcasts myself, I have a lot of horror podcasts that I go, oh, I wonder what, Horrified Chicken podcast thinks about this particular movie, and I enjoy hearing their opinions about it. I feel like we're starting to collect a group of people who are interested in our opinion on stuff.
Yeah,
so it's
cool.
It's really neat. Like I love that about podcasting. I think it's really cool and exciting. So if you find that you are a diehard listener of our show, thank you again. And
gracias.
Yeah, and if you haven't reviewed us on iTunes, please review us on iTunes. It's sort of like a Yelp review. It helps a restaurant really, really well. It's the same with us. So just find us on iTunes and leave a review there. That does so much for us and really, really helps us. Everything else, thedatenighthorrorshow.com. There you'll find links to all our social media as well. And thanks again. And we've got other little surprises coming up that are going to end up on the datenighthorrorshow.com, like new merch and things like that.
Cool.
So keep an eye on that. And again, find us on there and all the different social media links. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Twitter's weird. But we're on there. We're trying. And thank you again. So let's kick it off.
All right. Ready?
Yeah. Do you have your first sequel?
Yes. So I have to go with Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2.
Ah, that's good.
Because you'll find that my three are like my jams.
Yeah.
So I love that we've talked about it. I think it's been on my list before. I know it has, the first one. I love the creature. Absolutely love the creeper. He's awesome. He's scary and intimidating and gross. So it's such a good combination.
Yeah.
And relentless. I love when they're relentless. To be fair, I prefer the first one to the second, but they're both good. Like I would definitely recommend seeing both of them.
Yeah.
But I really like like I've talked before about the relationship between the brother and sister was really cool.
Yeah.
In the first one, the second one, it's about a school bus that breaks down. And it's still good. Like the violence is still really good. The kills and stuff, the make it stops and all that is really good on the second one too, but the first one is really
Yeah,
awesome.
I think it's a really good choice because so in the first film the scenario is really different to what happens in the second film.
Yeah.
But what I like about the second film, the sequel, is that because of the broken down school bus and all the different victims in the school bus, you get to see how this creature hunts. You get to
That's
learn
true.
a lot more about him. And you get these slow moments, like when he's outside of the bus and he's looking in and he's trying to pick the right
Which
person.
one's next?
There's some really creepy, slow, creepy moments with him. And you see the creature a lot more throughout the film. So, and tonally, it's very different. So I really like that choice. Unfortunately, the third film isn't very good.
No, don't bother with that one.
But I think that's an awesome choice for...
Yeah, I love Jeepers Creepers. That's like one of my favorites. Someday I am going to dress like the creeper.
Yeah, I'm going to make that happen.
Yeah.
We just did you as Art the Clown
That was so fun.
for Halloween, which was super cool. And there's going to be a Terrifier 2,
I know, I
which
can't
we're
wait.
super excited about. So yeah, that's a really good choice to start it off.
Cool. So which one's yours?
Okay, so my first choice is sort of an obvious choice, but I think it's a great example of how to do a first and second film. I have to go with Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
And the reason I pick those is because the first Alien is kind of slow burn, slithery, scary creature feature, right?
Yeah.
And the second film, I'm sure everyone's seen it, is sort of an action horror
Yeah.
film.
Definitely. That's a good
sci-fi
way of
film.
describing it.
Because there are moments that are really creepy and scary.
Yeah.
But there is a lot going on. There's a lot of action going on. The Space Marines, they've influenced so much since those films. And even though, you have moments where characters are fighting back with guns and things like that, you're still going, oh my God, there's no way they're going to get through this.
Yeah.
It's like taking on a swarm of wasps like crazy. And there's pivotal moments in the film, in the second film, where there's just pure terror. Like when they look up, because they can't tell where the aliens are coming from, the sound, the sound tracker, or the movement trackers, they're like, where are they? Where they look up and they're all in the ceiling and they're
Oh
coming
yeah,
up.
that's so creepy.
They're so scary. Or like when Ripley finally sees the alien queen,
Yeah.
it's like, it's just like, whoa,
Yeah.
so scary. It's one of the greatest creature features ever made.
Ripley's awesome too. I
Yeah.
love it's a strong female lead.
Yeah, and I love that Cameron, because James Cameron did the second one. Talk about, what an amazing follow-up director
Yeah.
to Ridley Scott. I love that Cameron had the passion, the vision, and also the balls to go, I'm going to do something completely different. And
Yeah.
I think that's when a sequel can be really successful, is when you go for something different. You're
Yeah.
not trying to recreate the first film so much, but you're trying to keep all the good things and expand it. So yeah, I had to go with that one for my first one.
That's a good choice.
Okay, what's your next one?
So my next one is Wolf Creek 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, we
I
just
love-
saw those again recently.
I love Wolf Creek. Isn't that weird? I know it's weird. It's weird. Much like the creeper,
Yeah.
this man is insane.
Oh, so scary.
He's very scary, like very intimidating. Like, dead behind the eyes. He's just
And the jolliness.
men, women, children. Yeah, he takes pleasure.
The jolliness mixed with that is
He takes
so
pleasure in
disturbing.
hunting, finding, torturing, and killing these people.
Yeah, and we all know rugged people in our lives. And
Yeah.
rugged people are very capable. And that's what's
Yeah.
creepy about him, is that he's so incredibly capable in the outback.
Yeah.
Like, so scary.
But he don't care if you're a kid or a
An old couple,
old,
remember, like in the second one?
old. And the series, you guys, awesome. I
Yeah.
loved the series.
Yeah, the series is really great.
I'm hoping there's a second season.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that one's really, really good too, because that one feels like a direct continuation, but it's almost like a literal part 2. Like it just feels like a natural continuation of the story. And I guess how the second film ends is based on a real thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It is. You get that little disclaimer at the beginning. Even on the series, it has a little disclaimer at events that happen.
Scary.
So makes you want to travel, to Australia and camp out?
Nope.
Wow, I'm not camping out.
That's a whole lot of nope. Aside from those kinds of threats, the outback is a treacherous, dangerous place.
Oh yeah.
So it's funny because I remember I met someone from Australia and I was talking to them and about like the Great Barrier Reef and great white sharks, and he's like, I'm not scared of great white sharks. I'm scared about the jellyfish in the water that can stop your heart.
Oh my God.
So it's just it's a treacherous place. I mean, still I still want to go there.
No, for sure.
It's beautiful.
We just won't camp.
Yeah.
We'll
Cool.
stay in a hotel. But anyway, if you guys haven't seen any of the Wolf Creeks, you should. They're really good.
But
not for the faint of heart, though.
Yeah, they're brutal films.
They're very brutal. So. But that's me.
Yeah,
brutal.
That's Reyna.
Enzo's always telling me I'm cray. So, yeah. But they're good. Go watch them.
Yep.
Okay, what's your second choice?
So my second choice is Hellraiser 1 and 2.
Of course.
Yeah. The reason I picked that is because I feel like the Hellraiser franchise could have been one of the great franchises if the films would have been as consistently good as Hellraiser 1 and 2.
Yeah. There's so many sequels to that in that one.
Yeah. I remember watching Hellraiser 2 and, we went to see it in the theater, and the whole thing with Julia is, similar to what happened to Frank in the first film. She has to be recreated, regenerated. And at first I was like, oh man, this feels so derivative. Like it's going to be the same film. But then the doctor, the psychiatrist and who he is, he infuses himself into the film, and what happens with him and then their journey into hell, like it gets creepier and creepier, and it expands the world more, and you learn more about the Cenobites, and you see more Cenobites. Yeah, Hellraiser 2 is super cool, and if they would have just kept that same trajectory, I'm telling you, those films would have been amazing. But I guess they're rebooting it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm really hopeful for that because it's like a true reboot. So I think they're gonna reevaluate the whole thing, and I'm not super sacred about stuff like that as long as they pay respects to it, and we still have those early films anyway. So which still hold up for me. So.
Yeah, Hellraiser, the first two Hellraisers are awesome.
Yeah,
very creepy, and I really like the second one because I like that you do see more of wherever they're from,
and
hell
again,
or wherever
there's
they're
some
from.
Amazing lines in the film. Yeah, like this is so creepy.
Yeah, some of them along the way weren't horrible, but they weren't as good as
there
the
are a
first
couple
two.
in there that in the middle that are all right. But I just wish they would have had consistency. Okay, what's your last and final sequel that you?
So my last and final is The Collector and The Collection.
Oh shit!
I love those movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I love when we watch a movie that catches me by surprise because we didn't know about it.
Yeah,
and you always find these really great ones.
Yeah,
some stinkers too, but when you find a really good one and it's like, oh my god, where has this been all my life?
Yeah, The Collector was we found it late. For us, we found it late.
We did.
Because it's a 90s film, and we saw it in probably mid-2000s.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Again, not, of course.
Super brutal.
Brutal, not for the faint of heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's a serial killer that sets booby traps.
Yeah.
And it's really brutal.
and there's things that happen in the first film, and the second film continues that.
Yeah.
And I remember when I found out that the collection was going to come out, I ran to you and I was super excited. I'm like, you're not going to believe this. They made a sequel to The Collector, and it's called The Collection, and it's about to come out. You were running around the room all excited because
I love that movie.
Yeah, and I think it really paid off. especially
Yeah, for
knowing
sure.
what happens to characters.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Really good. And it's so basically this guy collects people.
Yeah.
But you should, go watch it if you haven't seen it. Again, though, you're going to turn away a lot
Yeah.
and cover your face.
It's pretty brutal.
But
it's a brutal film.
It's worth it. It's completely worth it.
And the mask is fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Your last one?
So my last one, which is a super potent first film and sequel, 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah. I love those movies too.
Yeah. We were talking about this, and I think we were talking about it on a zombie episode, and I was saying that I prefer the second film over the first film. So then we watched it again, and you're like, you know what? You're kind of right.
Yeah.
Because the second film is like relentless.
Yeah.
It is absolutely relentless. Whereas the first film, it goes into this other spot. I feel like the film takes a turn when they go with the military group and all that.
Yeah, it does.
I'll keep it vague.
You're right.
But this film is intense and scary all the way through.
Yeah.
All the way through. And I just love it. Those first two films. And I'll be totally honest, if anyone's listening, I would love a 28 months later.
Ooh, that would be cool.
And I would love a 28 years later. I would love for them to do two more films.
That'd be really cool.
Because these first two films are great.
Yeah, they are.
Great.
They're really good. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to see.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You know, I like me my zombies.
Those are 6 examples of really great 1 and 2 films to kind of get your palate ready for, what we're going to talk about with the feature review. But before we go there, I wanted to throw one more thing at you. So in the early versions of our podcast, we would play this game called Make Out, Marry, or Meh. Do you remember that? Yeah, and people liked it too. But we haven't done it in a while, so I figured let's resurrect Make Out, Marry, or Meh. Okay?
That's cool.
But this is going to be sequel focus.
Okay.
So what I'm going to throw at you, Reyna, is movies that we've seen recently that are new. And my question to you is, should they get sequels?
Okay.
Okay. So make out means, yes, make one sequel. Okay. Marry means, oh God, I love this premise. Make many sequels. Okay. And meh, it's a one-off. Leave it at that.
Leave it alone. Okay.
So it doesn't, meh can mean it's still a good movie, but don't make a sequel. Yeah. So, okay. Are you ready? Here's my list. And then, of course, as you answer, I'll answer with my opinion as well.
Okay.
It's time to play Make Out, Marry, or Meh.
Okay. You ready? Here's
ready.
the first movie.
Okay.
Mandy.
Oh God, that's a. I'm gonna say meh.
You don't want to see another sequel?
No.
Oh, interesting.
So we just saw it again, and it's
love
really
that
good.
film.
No, it's awesome, but I feel like I don't know where you would go with it.
Yeah, I hear that they're gonna make a sequel.
Really?
Like that it's kind of in the works. If you guys don't know, Elijah Wood, along with a few other people, they have a production company called Spectrovision, and they're the ones who brought Mandy to the screen. They're the ones who tracked down the director of Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I absolutely love. Such a trippy movie, and that's how they made Mandy. They said, do whatever you want to do. And he made Mandy. And I love this film.
He's only done those 2 movies.
Yeah, he's only done these. This guy is a fucking genius. Like, I love what he's trying to do. It's so unique. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I don't think there should be a Mandy 2.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel or a continuation that is in the same universe, because that universe is very interesting. It kind of unfolds.
Yeah.
But I don't think you necessarily have to have Nicolas Cage in it or whatever. And it doesn't have to be like Mandy 2. It can be another name.
Right. I agree with
Do you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Because, I mean, I just don't see where you could go with that character.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a meh. I think it's a meh. Leave it for what it is. And
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say for selfish reasons, I'm gonna say make out, because this movie is about a group of friends that go to like a not scary farm.
Yeah.
And it really captures.
They did a really good job.
What the experience is like. To go to like a not scary farm, but of course,
all the different mazes.
Yeah, within it, there's a serial killer.
Yeah,
On the
he's
loose.
infiltrated it.
Yeah, and of course you can't tell who's who because the characters are dressed up.
Yeah.
Not the teenagers, but the workers there at the park.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun movie.
I thought it was great, and if you haven't seen it, the ending is awesome and very creepy and very eerie.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and I think because of how it ends, I want to see more.
Yeah, like what happened for sure. But yeah, I really like that, so I would definitely say just to make out. No.
Oh, make out is multiple sequels.
You said Mary was multiple.
No, Mary. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, just to make out, you only want to see one?
I say one. Maybe from there I'll say Mary.
Dude.
But for now I say make out.
There's a detail in the way it ends
Yeah, it's really good.
that makes me want marry.
Many?
Makes
Really?
me want. Yeah, I want to marry. As long as each one has its own passion and like,
Yeah.
and it delivers. It's really gory in spots and it's really scary.
It's really scary.
And we go to these things all the time.
Right, that's what makes it more scary.
That's what makes it really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for you, it's only make out, and for me, it's marry. I want
Yeah.
to see multiple sequels of this. So okay, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is Midsummer.
You already know my answer to that.
Okay,
It's
tell
a
us
bit
your answer.
meh to me. It just wasn't scary, people. I'm sorry. I saw it twice just to make sure, just like Hereditary, to make sure I was not
Oh my god,
missing something.
I already bought it and I've watched it
I'm
multiple times.
sorry. I don't get it. I don't think it's scary. It has some moments that are scary, I guess.
Okay, well, we're not reviewing it.
Right.
So your answer
but my
is
answer is definitely for me. I already know your answer. You're gonna fucking marry it, but it's a meh for me.
no. I don't think I would marry it because I don't want multiple sequels of this Midsummer universe. But I could see one, so maybe a makeout. But in many ways, I consider it its own masterpiece. So I'm sort of leaning towards meh as well. I don't think you should touch it. So I think Ari Aster should do some of his other ideas because I think he has so many interesting ideas. So I think I'm gonna have to go
You're
with.
gonna go with meh? I'm surprised.
I'm gonna have to go with meh
I'm surprised.
because I think it's a good standalone. Okay,
I'm surprised at that.
okay. So the next movie is The Furies.
Mary, for sure. I loved this movie.
Let's talk about it without spoiling it too much. There's multiple final girls and there's multiple slashers,
Yeah.
and they're all pitted against each other. I think you can keep it that vague.
Like a contest, you could say.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's an Australian film, and it's an exclusive on Shudder right now, and it's so brutal.
Yeah. If you have Shudder,
Gory
if you
and
don't have
scary.
Shudder, shame on you. But if it's on Shudder, you should watch it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Good twists and turns.
And you said Mary?
Oh yeah, Mary.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that whole universe.
Because that world is the game
Yeah.
itself is still shrouded in mystery even after seeing the 1st film. I want to see at least 2 more sequels because
For
I
sure.
thought the first film is great.
Yeah.
And it's
They kind
super
of left it open
spirited.
for one, so
Hopefully
hopefully that means it's coming.
Yeah, and it's very horror-y. It's like a love letter to slasher films, but then there's interesting new ideas in there too.
Yeah.
And yet you still get the satisfaction of a great slasher with
Yeah.
great gore.
Yeah.
Yes, I
It's
agree
scary.
with you. I agree that we need to marry the Furies.
Yeah, I'll marry the Furies.
Okay, so the next one is The Night Eats the World.
Make out. Yeah, I definitely want to see what happens.
Yeah.
So it's a zombie movie, and it centers around this one survivor in this apartment building.
Yeah.
And so all this stuff happens. And I would definitely want to see a sequel, at least one sequel.
Yeah, it's a zombie film that centers around solitude and kind of
Yeah.
what that can do to someone. It's 2018. We saw it on Prime. I think it's still on Prime. Highly recommended.
It's really good.
Recommended.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a really good film, and the film ends in a way that sort of gives you an opening.
Yeah, it does, for sure.
So it left me intrigued.
Yeah.
Keeping it vague again. But it's very well worth seeing, and I agree with you. I think it's at least a makeout.
At least one more.
At least.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, next film, 31.
Oh man,
Rob
I'd totally
Zombie.
make out with 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I really like it. I mean, Rob Zombie doesn't disappoint with the horror
With
and
those
the
kinds of films,
and the
yeah.
make it stops and the brutalness of it.
Yeah.
And I thought the concept was really good.
Yeah, I liked it.
I really enjoyed that movie.
I liked it. Some people, again, people are hard on him sometimes. But I think
think
for
he
what
gets
it
it.
is, I thought it was very entertaining and effective.
Yeah.
I don't think it has the same sort of depth as Devil's Rejects,
No.
the Firefly family world.
Yeah.
But I still want to know more about it,
Yeah. Because it's also a game, so it'd be interesting to know more about that.
Yeah. So I agree with you. At least to make out at least one sequel.
At least one. I
would
wouldn't
be
say
cool.
many, but yeah, definitely one.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, 13 Sins.
Oh yeah, Mary. That's a cool movie.
Yep.
I could see a Mary. I could see it. I could see multiple sequels to that.
Yeah. So
It's a good concept.
13 Sins is on Netflix right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I saw it.
Should watch it again.
But we had seen it a long time ago, and it's a really weird, sadistic
Yeah.
mastermind kind of manipulates this young man who's kind of down on his luck.
Yeah.
And he gets him to do all these really crazy things to try to make money before his wedding. So that's kind of the basic premise. But it's really well written, and it's crazy. Like it gets crazy.
Yeah.
I would love to see another victim go through that. Maybe a woman.
Yeah.
I think
It
that
left
would
it
be-
open too.
It leaves it kind of
Yeah.
vague and open. I don't think the first film did as well, but maybe it'll gain a fan base now that
That's
it's
so
on Netflix.
good.
But I would love to see 14 Sins.
Yeah, for sure. 14 cents.
But I do love
Yeah,
the
for
13.
sure.
So
Yeah, 13's a good number for it. No, if you guys haven't seen it and it's on Netflix, you definitely should see it. It's great.
Yeah. Okay, so the last one I'm going to ask you is Us.
I would that's a hard one. I mean, definitely want to see a sequel. I don't know if I want to see many.
Yeah.
I think a makeout. I definitely want to know more about that other world. I felt like he also left it open for a sequel.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to, of course, I want to know which one came out of there.
Yeah.
But I also want to know more about that other side.
Yeah, I would probably pick Makeout or Meh, because I love the film, but I think it's one of those, it's a really good standalone. Even though the way it ends,
No, it is a great standalone. You're right.
it ends in a bleak sort of way, and
Yeah.
I don't really need to know more.
I want to know about the other side.
But I am also curious to if they were to do a sequel. But I think the concept is so delicate. I mean, it's already so polarizing. Some
Yeah.
people didn't like it at all. I'm
What?
not one of the. Yeah, I'm not one of those
That
people.
was such a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It's very outside the box. So if you want conventional horror, then this is not for you. But
That's what's so great about horror.
yeah, I love the fresh voice of it.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a delicate concept where
No,
it can
I see
jump the
that.
shark just, with one bad thing. So,
I would want one more.
okay. Yeah, I guess I'll agree with you on that. So at least a makeout.
Yeah.
Cool.
Makeout.
Yeah. Makeout, Mary, yeah, there it is.
Tell us what you think.
Nice.
And now, our feature review.
All right, Lena, it's time for this episode's feature review. Dr. Sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to read the synopsis?
Sure. So, years following the events of The Shining, a now adult Dan Torrance must protect a young girl with similar powers from a cult known as the True Knot, who prey on children with powers to remain immortal. Ew.
Yeah, I sort of feel like the synopsis revealed a little too much. But anyway, I have to say, Reina, this is probably going to be the most complex review that I've had to do on my end, because I'm coming into the film with a lot of mixed emotions and baggage. So I read Dr. Sleep when it first came out.
Right.
And The first 3 chapters were some of the scariest chapters Stephen King has ever written. Like, there's some really scary things in it. So I thought, wow, this is gonna be, it's gonna surpass The Shining, and I love The Shining book. And but then it took a different turn, and the story goes to a different place. That personally, I didn't really want.
Yeah.
I mean, I read the whole book and I enjoyed the whole book, but I was like, wow, those first 3 chapters are pure modern Gothic horror. Like, they are so strong. So I came into the film going, okay, this is how I feel about the source material. Let's see if I can just take this movie in and kind of enjoy it. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, so I didn't read it. Well, I started to read it, and then I don't know, I didn't finish it. But well, I didn't know much about it. I didn't really know what the whole story was about with Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
Just that Danny Torrance was in it.
Yeah.
You know. So I didn't really know what to expect, but
Okay.
I have to say I was disappointed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Again, listeners, we're going to have our general review portion, and then we're going to go into the spoiler zone, because there's a lot I want to talk about this film, and we can go in depth into why maybe you didn't like it or whatever.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
What was your...
I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I don't know. It was okay.
Okay, interesting. Was it because the premise went somewhere you didn't want, or...
Well, for one, it wasn't scary enough for me.
Okay.
You know, as you all know, my taste in movies.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they all have to be that way, but I didn't feel even creeped out.
Okay.
Honestly.
Interesting.
I thought the concept of it was interesting.
Yeah.
I just don't think it went to a level it could have gone to.
Okay. Okay. There were aspects of the film that I really, really liked. There were things that in the film that slightly deviated from the original content.
Yeah.
But then there were a lot of things in there that were true to the original, to the content, that I found surprising that they kept them in there.
Interesting.
So there were aspects of how the film was handled that I thought were really, really well chosen. But then there were other aspects that I didn't like that much. Like, for example, the almost desperate connection to the Kubrick film. Recreating scenes
Yeah, that was weird.
with new actors was kind of odd.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but in the original Shining book, the way it ends is different. I'm going to keep it vague. We'll talk about it more in the spoiler zone. So in this sequel, their ending tied to Kubrick's film.
Right.
So they had to do some things there that clumsily wrapped the film up. And I felt like those things were the weakest. The smaller moments between characters I thought were really, really well done. The cast was really, really good for what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
I still think it's worth seeing in the theater. I just have complicated feelings about the film. But I think it was entertaining, and I looked around the theater and I was observing other people, and a lot of people seemed very satisfied with the film. And I think it has a lot to do with them not knowing what was coming, and me knowing what was coming. So
I guess. I mean, I didn't know it was coming, and I wouldn't go see it in the theater. I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, I would see it. I just wouldn't see it in the theater. I don't think it's worth it.
So Mike Flanagan directed this film, and he's the guy who did Haunting of Hill House. He also
Gerald's Game,
Hush,
which is one of my favorites.
And I think he's a very elegant
Oculus, that's a good one too.
Yeah, he's a very elegant storyteller. And I think I could imagine this being a miniseries and me being very satisfied with it. But I think as a film, it had to rush through a few things. And I think overall it made it not perfect. Not an entire home run. But I think the underlying Stephen King story, he's so imaginative.
Yeah.
His ideas are interesting. That's what resonates with people, I think, and I think the way he depicts the True Knot, the group, was creepier than how I visualized it in my head. Because to me, there's many facets of it that felt sort of X-Men-ish. So my brain went more there.
Oh, I see.
And I think they removed certain details to make it not feel so X-Men-ish and made it more creepy. There's a scene in the middle of the film that involves a little boy that I thought was far creepier on screen for me. Like, it was actually uncomfortable. And in the book, it's there, but it didn't quite have as much shock as it did seeing it on film. Yeah. So I praise him for that stuff. Yeah. But ultimately, I think it just wasn't a complete home run for me. Right. But I can definitely see, if I put myself out of it and all the baggage that I brought to seeing the sequel, I can definitely see why someone would enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah. And so all the people who have seen it and they've enjoyed it, that's cool. It's just, for me, coming at it the way I did, I don't think it quite hit a home run for me. And in the spoiler zone, we can definitely talk more about why. Okay. So do you want to give me your...
Yeah, so my final review is it's worth seeing, especially if you're a Stephen King fan and a Shining fan. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't go see it in the theater. I would probably wait till it came out.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. Sorry.
I feel bad that it didn't do well either. I think a lot of the timing of that, they should have done it within October. Yeah, I think it would have done better. Yeah. People put on their turkey hats, once Halloween passes, and it's just a different mindset, I guess. Yeah. Not for us, of course. Okay, let's go into the spoiler zone and talk more in depth about Dr. Sleep. You ready?
I'm ready.
Nice.
Beware. Spoilers ahead.
Okay, so is there any specific thing you want to bring up about the details? We can go really in depth here.
Like I said, I didn't know what to expect since I hadn't read the book. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know the whole thing about that gang or whatever. Yeah. That kills kids. Yeah. To be immortal. Right. I just didn't think they were creepy. Like, honestly, I just didn't think they were creepy at all. I think that's messed up, of course, but I just didn't get a creep vibe from them. Like a dangerous...
I think the way... It's interesting because the way he... In the book, they don't read that creepy either. They read more like superheroes. It's weird. So, like, in the book, different characters have different special skills, and they sort of show that in the film, but they don't hit you over the head with it. In the book, it kind of hits you over the head with it. So, like Crow, the Native American, he can find people. Like, that's his ability. That's like his X-Men ability. So when these things kept coming up and coming up, right? And then she kind of searches for Abra. So she's the most powerful. She's like the Professor X, right?
That I got.
So to me, it kept pushing me towards Marvel.
Right. I could see that.
And in the film where, when they're actually breathing in the steam and, what they call the steam, and their eyes are glowing, they look more creepy than I visualized them. So, but I sort of agree with you. They're not that creepy.
No, you just don't get a sense of danger. What they're doing is horrible, obviously, but I don't know. You just don't get that sense of danger. I didn't pick up on Crow's abilities at all. Yeah. Now that you said it, it makes sense because when he finds Abra, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
That's why they choose to recruit the young girl,
Yeah,
because she can make people sleep.
people sleep. Yeah,
Yeah, that sort of thing. So like each version, each person that shines has a different shine, and that's the stuff that I didn't quite want in the book.
Yeah.
You know, but I powered through, and there's some nice things. I think most of the film is about Danny, or most of the book is about Danny finding his way with his ability. And he makes a lot of really good friends. So it's actually a very heartfelt film.
see, that would have been cool to see
Yeah. And I
more
think,
of.
and there's a story when Dick Halloran talks to the young Danny on the bench, and he gives him the box that's in the film.
Yeah,
He tells him another story about his grandfather, and how one of his grandfathers was as a sadist. He was really creepy. And in the book, and I'm not going to spoil it entirely for you, but he tells a more detailed story about his grandfather. And to me, that story is one of the scariest stories that Stephen King has ever said, has ever put in his films, or in his book. And that's not in the movie.
you were anticipating it too, because I remember you leaned over and you're like, "This part's scary."
Yeah.
It never came true for you. Huh?
And I was like, I wonder how they're going to visualize this, because it is very dark, very, very dark. But they didn't. They didn't. So
I'll have to read that.
he definitely, I think that, the choices were made to make the film more enjoyable and accessible to a bigger audience and less to a hardcore horror
I
audience.
don't know why they do that.
Yeah. But then there were other choices that had more edge than I expected. So, like when the little boy is slaughtered.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
That part was really disturbing.
Yeah, it was. I really like the relationship that Danny and Abra have. I
Yeah.
thought that was a really good, like, their connection.
Mm-hmm. And it's
And the way they
more
talk to each other and stuff.
it's more detailed in the book. He has her back. He cares for her. It's sort of a father-daughter or uncle and niece, which I thought was a really cool thing in the book. But again, these are heartfelt things. So I think the film is entertaining in that way.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't slither
Yeah.
as much as I would
it
hope.
Doesn't.
And the book doesn't either, to be quite honest with you.
Interesting.
Except at the beginning.
Yeah.
And maybe towards the tail end.
Towards the end.
Yeah. How did you feel about them recreating pivotal actors and pivotal scenes?
I thought it was weird.
It did come off
It felt
weird, right?
felt flat. I felt like I don't think they should have. I don't think they should have done that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like the scene where they show the classic "Here's Johnny" scene.
Yeah.
And you see the newer actress. She was in Starry Eyes, Alex Essoe. I think
Right.
that's how you say her name.
yeah, I think so.
She embodied Shelley Duvall.
She did.
Like she
did.
Yeah, Danny. Like the way she.
Yeah, her voice
Like
was
she
crazy.
She studied it, and
Yeah.
it was good. And I think her performance is awesome. It's just a little weird to see that stuff.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't feel it was necessary.
Right, exactly. One of the scenes that I liked and hated at the same time was when Danny goes into the Overlook and goes to the bar, and he gets served by the bartender, and you think it's going to be Lloyd, but it ends up being his dad. That scene is really interesting, and I like the ideas behind it. But seeing Henry Thomas as Jack Nicholson was really weird. Like it didn't. It's just odd. It didn't quite work. Like I get it conceptually, because you would want them to have a conversation. Because the film, in many ways, and the story, in many ways, is about that unresolved trauma and the legacy of alcoholism and all that. So I totally understand why he took it there. But at the end of the day, it's odd.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's not Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
And I don't think think the young Danny Torrance was a good cast.
No, he didn't have the same haunted face. Yeah, and that boy's look is so iconic. It's just as iconic as Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Even the way he this is nitpicky, but the way he rode the big wheel, it was clear that he didn't ride a big wheel because like he was struggling with it.
Well, I don't think they make them anymore, right? Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Whereas
They've
like
never
the
ridden one
original Danny Torrance, like you could tell he rode his ass off.
Right. That's funny.
It's just weird when you recreate that stuff so much.
Yeah, I feel like if you're a fan of The Shining, like you didn't need that.
Yeah.
It was almost they put it in there to be like, remember?
Yeah.
But I don't think you needed it.
Right. It's like, hey, you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that sort of thing. And then even the way they attack Rose the Hat at the end, like all the creatures of the Overlook, it's just a little hokey the way it ends.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Yeah, and in the book, it's similar, but again, in Stephen King's Overlook, it's ruins. So they go to the ruins of the Overlook.
Interesting. That would have been creepier.
Yeah, and then that was weird too, like the fact that the boiler was still functional.
Well, yeah, it was
And the electricity.
Everything was on and clean.
Yeah, that was very clumsy.
It didn't even look like dusty or old or falling apart, like dilapidated or anything.
Yeah, and I think
which was kind of weird.
I think the way they chose to end the Doctor Sleep the film is not the same as the book either. So it's sort of an amalgamation of the book and it's this weird mashup.
Between both books.
It's like mix and match, and I won't go into it too much because I think you should read those both of those. But it just, again, there were choices that were made that were very good. But then there were choices that were really odd. So it's just like odd and not so good.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not a 100% home run. And again, maybe I'm too close to it because I love both The Shining book and Kubrick's Shining. Yeah. So there's just a lot of, I went in with a lot.
Yeah, with a lot of expectation.
Yeah.
Well, but then again, I didn't because I didn't read it. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it was just okay. I mean, I would definitely see it as, like I said, if you're a fan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It felt kind of flat for me.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about in the spoiler zone?
I don't think so.
No? Oh, okay.
You?
I thought the Dick Halloran recast was really good.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that actor was fantastic.
That was a good...
Carl Lumbly, I thought he was really good and reminiscent of the...
Yeah, he that was a good casting.
And, yeah. And
he had the voice down too.
And I'm so glad that they didn't remove that character, from the film.
Yeah.
Because technically in the film, The Shining, he does die. But in the book, he does not. So I'm glad that they decided to have him be alive and kind of continue to mentor Danny, because those are pivotal things like the box and all that.
Yeah.
Mrs. Massey, I thought she looked really good in this, and you should see her a lot, the old woman in the bathtub.
Oh, yeah.
So props to that. I thought that was good.
That was creepy.
Yeah. Again, there were things I liked. There's things I didn't like. I still think you should go check it out if you can. I'm not sure I would own it. But yeah, it's just, there's a lot of mixed feelings with it for me.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess we can get out of the spoiler zone.
Okay. Bye, cool. Spoiler zone.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about on this episode?
Just thank you everyone again for listening. Always, like we say, message us, leave us a comment, maybe tell us what sequels you love, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and a lot of people like Dr. Sleep, so I would love to, if you really liked it, I would love to see some of those comments and things, opinions on
for
that.
Sure.
So cool. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And
Scare you later.
bye-bye.
The Date Night Horror Show is written and produced by Enzo and Reyna. All music written and produced by Enzo. Find Enzo and Reyna online at thedatenightHorrorshow.com. Do you love the show? Then share it with your horror-loving friends and help spread the word.